right about here would have been the Wilson House Hotel. Would have been right here. Okay, this, you'll see that is the Reliable Home Furnishings building is in the background. That's that building right there. It's now Kellar's.
Yeah.
Now, so the road would have been like right here and would have went right back here.
Okay.
So like right there.
Oh yeah, totally not square.
Yeah, it's not square at all. So yeah, would have went off at an angle like over that way. What's interesting here is that in the where the hotel was, they had a stairway that went down into the basement, and that's where the cook was in the cafeteria, kind of, or where they made all the food.
Yep.
That would have been right over here.
Okay.
It's now, you know,
Something completely different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story goes that in 1795, Ralph Rutledge and his family were on their way into Erie to settle.
Yep.
And they had come across this point and they were attacked by Native Americans, and it was the last skirmish that happened in Erie County. Happened actually like right here.
Oh wow.
So we wanted to know, history books say that that Ralph Rutledge was buried around here. And we kind of wanted to know where that was. So we tried to track it down, and we came up with Joseph Sterrett, who was a judge, had said that he was 5 rods from State Street along 14th Street here. So we did the math, and that comes out to 82.5 feet, and we'll take you over there right now.
Nice.
So
Another train.
another train. Yeah, we're full of trains today. So 82.5 feet would be right about here.
Okay.
Right here where this kind of thing sticks out of the wall right before this door.
Yep.
So this is possibly where Ralph Rutledge is buried, would be right about here.
Okay.
And he is, they said that it was south of the Wilson house. This would have been south of the Wilson house. This is the back part of what would have been the Wilson house at the time. And this is 82.5 feet.
Okay.
And it's under the sidewalk. He said it was under the pavement and sidewalk. So
Yeah.
that's right here.
Under the old sidewalks, with the new sidewalks, that sidewalk over the old sidewalks.
Yeah, they put new sidewalks down, just rip them up and put new.
Yeah.
Like nobody was digging down several feet around here. Yeah, there was no need to. So it's very possible that he is still buried right here.
It's got a lot of daily visitors.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, in fact, they remarked about how much foot traffic used to go over his grave
Oh wow.
in the early days, because this was the main hub of activity.
Sure.
You had the Waterford Turnpike starting right here,
Yep.
and there's no coincidence that they built the train station right there too. So it's all connected that way. You can see the original brick pattern here. Really cool. And so back in the day, this went all the way through and hooked onto Peach Street up here.
Okay.
And this was like the main thoroughfare. The Waterford Turnpike went off right there.
Yep.
So let me just kind of turn this around down this way. And always hard to see. I can try to line up some shots with some old photos that I have. It'll probably be right around here.
You could see the brick road underneath all the asphalt. Though.
Yeah. Yep. It's old. That is for sure. Originally, one time there was a hotel that was right here.
Okay.
That went between here and State Street, and it was 3 stories. It was called the Grand at one point.
The Grand?
The Grand Hotel, yeah. It was really like 30 feet wide. Yeah, it just had like one stairwell that went back and forth up it. Yeah.
That's pretty grand.
Yep. It was really small. Yeah.
Wow.
And they tore that down in 1978.
Okay.
It had caught fire numerous times. And yeah.
It was time.
Yeah, it was time, yeah. We're gonna walk over behind the building over here. Let's cross here. So back then, this would have been the backside of the Turnpike Street here.
Okay, got it.
And then, so this would have been the back of the buildings on Turnpike, would have came this way along here.
Oh man, okay.
And many of them had apartments above them.
Okay.
So a lot of people lived kind of like up here in apartments back then.
Right on. Yeah.
Over across the way here is the Griswold Plaza.
Oh yeah.
And that completely changed in like 1925. Prior to that, it was just totally different.
Yeah. He's our postmaster,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Ah, there's another train.
Trains!
We are down at the Griswold Plaza.
Yeah.
This used to be the old post office was right here. They had moved a statue here years ago. In 1907, a bronze statue commemorating Eben Brewer was dedicated at the Postmasters Convention in Perry Square. Eben Brewer was born in 1849 and was the first mail agent in the United States and Cuba. He served during the Spanish-American War and died on July 14, 1898. Okay, so what is interesting about this park is that back in the day it was completely different than laid out than what it is now.
Yeah.
This was like, I believe, Washington Street, and then I believe that was Canal Street. That was Canal Street right there. Yeah, Canal Street was there. This was Washington Street. I have a map I'll pull up and show what that used to look like.
Okay.
But it was all different. There was, before they built this train station over here in 1925-ish or whatever, the old train station kind of sat maybe 20, 30 feet, 40 feet maybe further south. The original station did, because there was a whole set of train tracks that were
kind of
on this side of the old station too, because the train tracks kind of split the station in two, went aroround each side.
Yep.
And then the new station, they only have them on the south side of the building. So and that's right here.
So there were all tracks.
Yeah, there would have been railroad tracks right through there. It looked completely different. Harry Kellar, known as the Dean of American Magicians, was a mentor and a friend of Harry Houdini. Considered the first American magician to become an international star, he performed extensively on 5 continents, impressing audiences with his elegant theatrical illusions for more than 40 years. He popularized the vanishing birdcage effect and perfected the levitation illusion. Born in Erie, he returned to perform many times. His boyhood home stood nearby. Alright, we are up by the old Manicore. This Manicore Club is right there. We're on State Street. And the reason why we are here is we're going to spin around right here and show you right about here. This was where the market house was. This is where everybody got their produce and vegetables, and everybody could come and get a stand, and farmers could get the, like sell their wares, all that stuff. And that was there for a long time. I think till like the 50s. And they tore it down, and then they built this building, which was originally a bowling alley.
Sweet.
And then it turned into offices for like the school district and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And now it's something else. But I mean, when you look at it now, I mean, it does scream bowling alley, you know?
100%. I can even tell you where the pin machines were.
Yeah. Was a hotel called the Morton House.
Okay.
And that's where everybody would stay when going to the railroad.
Okay.
Getting on the train the next morning. Alright, so I'm going to try to line up a shot. It's not going to make much sense, but right about here. Right here. And you'll see in the shot there was buildings all up and down the sides of Peach Street here back in the day.
Yep.
Up there was the Dreamland Theater on 18th. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little story. So now you know where Ralph was buried. Like, I remember as a kid, I could swear this was a water fountain.
Yep.
This fountain was presented by George Selden to the city of Erie on May 30th, 1883. George was president of the Erie City Iron Works, which was responsible for building the standpipe, which kept Erie City's water pressurized.
This is Perry Square today. Looks a lot different now than it did back then. Originally, John, I don't know if you knew this, originally the courthouse was over here. It was right about there. And that was in the, like one of the first courthouse, in Erie. And I believe that burned down. Over here where this building over here was, that's the empty space there now. That was the old Park Opera House.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they've changed it, tore it down. At one point it was the bus station, and then they tore that down too. So.
In 1915, firefighters John Donovan and Chief John McMahon were the first of Erie firefighters to die in active service during the flood of Millcreek. Unfortunately, they weren't the last. In November of 1796, General Mad Anthony Wayne arrived at Fort Presque Isle in Erie. Suffering from a severe bout of gout, and despite medical attention, He died on December 15, 1796, and was buried under the fort's flagpole. 13 years later, his son Isaac exhumed his remains and relocated him to the family plot in Radnor, Pennsylvania.
And there's the old Hotel Ford.
Yeah.
And then there is, right over there, 21 North Park Row is where doctor came up with a tincture, basically, that like kind of jump-started the whole pharmaceutical industry. You heard it's Carter.
Carter.
Yeah.
Carter.
Right. You've heard the you know, you've got more pills than Carter.
That
whole
is
expression.
a very Erie expression. Yeah.
That actually came from that building right there.
Wow.
Carter's little liver pills were manufactured right there.
Wow.
So that's where that expression came from. More pills than Carter. You got the ski goggles on. Nice. Hey. When in Erie.
Oh, it's so cold.
It is windy. We are up at the mall, Millcreek Mall in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, man.
This was the Spires farm. And it was right about right here where the old Chi-Chi's
Okay.
was. Okay, and in the 50s, this farm was used as a temporary Kearsarge airport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what they did is they had a runway going down there, going down that way,
Yep.
and then they had another runway that went that way, north and south.
Yeah.
So they had the east-west and the north-south. And see, over here was on the other side of Peach Street. There was the Walnut Creek Hotel, and that was a place where a lot of people would stay when they're coming through on the turnpike into Erie and stuff. So we're gonna go take a walk down and check out the mall a little bit. And I haven't been in the mall in 20 years probably. So it's gonna be a complete, total game, different for me. So
sure.
We'll see what we can find.
All right.
The Millcreek Mall complex, designed by Andrew J. Burren and Associates, boasted over 1 million square feet of leasable space. Opened and operated by the Cafaro Company in 1975.
We got to check out Spencer's. I bet Spencer's is still here.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Wow, this looks so different now.
Yeah.
So this is where Orange Julius was, and it's not there anymore. This was Horns. I think originally it was Boston store when they first opened. Now it's Dick's. Yeah. There's used to be Hot Sam's, I think, was right there. Yeah. So this area is totally different down here. This used to be the that was Burger King over there. This was Dull Campers, over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So now they got a couple restaurants in there.
it's like our big arcade,
Nice.
bowling, stuff like that.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's kind of nice in here.
Looks like fun.
It does look like fun. We're gonna have to go. That's cool. That's where you go up there to bowl, I guess. That's what they got here. It's a little dark here. Spencer's. Like right up here used to be, this area used to be McCrory's. It's just across from this aisle
This
there.
is what I remember the t-shirt to be on.
They had was it Red Baron arcade was up here.
Yep.
That's where it was over there. Here, this is all new. This is the food court. This is where they had the movie theaters are down here. Millcreek 3 or whatever they called it at the time. So yeah, this is now the food court.
Yeah.
This is where the movie theater is over there.
Yep.
I saw, I think it was Return of the Jedi I saw here. Can't remember what year that was. Oh my gosh. Center of the mall.
Check out and stuff from your. That's like my LA hat, except it's because it's the same. I need it. I got that one coming in. I got another white hat.
Oh, Radio Shack is closed. I hate to be the one to inform you, but I think Radio Shack has gone out of business. There used to be a really cool science store that was right here too. So one of the myths about the Millcreek Mall is that it's shaped like a gun that is pointed towards downtown.
Yeah.
And it's a myth because it actually is not pointed towards downtown. As straight as the crow flies, it would be pointing towards, more towards the Chestnut Street Pool, that area.
The story falls apart completely when you find out that Andrew designed another mall in North Olmsted, Ohio, almost an exact duplicate, and it's pointing at nothing.
Okay, most people won't remember this, but right there was Tilt. There's an arcade.
Yeah.
Remember Tilt?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Bet.
That was right there. Over across here, across the hall, then would have been there was a pizza shop right here.
Okay.
You know, we used to go to the pizza shop. Had really, really good pizza. And then over here was the Brown Derby restaurant there, but they had a little bar out here.
Yeah, the Brown Derby.
Yeah. And there was a bar that used to be there. And then, yeah, Brown Derby used to be back there.
Yeah.
And there. And then that was a library at one point. That was the Erie County Public Library for a long time.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right, we're down by the foot of East Avenue here. This is I guess known as Gator Central now. It's Gator Central. I don't know if anybody's heard there's alligator sightings down
Couple
here.
gator boats over there.
So we're gonna talk about some stuff down here. So let me flip the camera around here. We're gonna walk out on the pier here. Right over here, where this woods are here.
Mm-hmm.
This used to be a place like a resort place called the Cedars,
Oh, right on. Okay.
and it was like they would have picnics and picnic
Sure.
groves, and it's kind of like a Massasauga Point area.
Yeah,
It was like a
for
place
sure.
for people to hit the water.
Yep.
And
There's a nice beach over our shoulders
yeah,
here.
it's very, very nice. But the plant over here, the Coke plant, that's gonna need some cleanup, man. That's
Pretty industrial out.
yeah.
I think I see a gator hunter coming in.
Is there? Yeah, gator hunters. Well, he's flying too, man.
Well, there's no weight restrictions here.
Oh,
The only restriction you would have is to make sure you can get in between
yeah,
the channel.
yeah. You can see it's pretty shallow through here.
Yeah. Looks like a couple scrape.
Yeah, a couple boats dragging along the bottom there. This needs to be dredged out. Those are the old Hammermill power plant stacks,
Okay.
and they ripped down all the power plant and everything around it, but they just kind of left the stacks there.
As probably as mariners.
Yeah, I think it's
Delayed?
because it's been there for so long that people use it as a
Head bearing.
yeah,
Again.
yeah, and that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't think they're hurting anybody over there, So there's that little island out there. You see that?
Yeah.
Out there. I always wanted to go out there and stake a flag on that thing, and claim it. Yeah. That's the intake for the water intake that they were using at Hammermill. They would suck the water in out of the lake there.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not sure what this is. I don't know why they have this little pier out this way. I guess just to walk out on.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, the reason why we came down was pretty much for Cedars. The Cedars was right there. And
How's the launch?
now it's the boat launch, yeah. But yeah, back in there, I don't know if they had like cottages or whatever.
Okay.
But if I were gonna go snooping around for relics and stuff like that, that'd be
sure.
a nice place,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who owns that property, but
Or even like beachcomber metal detector stuff.
yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that transpired down here over the years. Are you curious about the alligator?
Oh, no, not in the least bit.
So, in the Times News did a story about the alligator recently that just had a thing that said they were wondering if it had gotten in the sewer system.
Oh, Jesus Christo.
Yeah. So yeah, watch out for the alligators. In 1909, a public steamboat landing was constructed at the foot of State Street, serving as a vital hub for transportation and commerce.
Beautiful day.
It's a very, very beautiful day. We're walking down around Dobbins Landing, and we're just gonna check it out. There's a nice ship at the end here. Let's go check. We should check that out.
Yeah,
definitely.
tall ship?
Yeah. Let's go see what that's about.
Cool.
Turn the camera around here.
I don't think I've ever seen this tall ship close up.
Is this, which one is this? Letty G?
Yeah.
The Letty G. Howard is a historic wooden Fredonia schooner built in 1893 in Essex, Massachusetts. Originally used for offshore fishing, she is believed to be the last surviving example of her type and was designated a historic landmark in 1989. The ship has won multiple awards related to its programming and historic restoration efforts. Dobbins Landing has undergone several name changes over the years. Originally called the Public Steamboat Landing, the city officially renamed it the Public Dock in 1966. Later in 1986, it was renamed Dobbins Landing in honor of Captain Daniel Dobbins, an early 19th century sailing master in the U.S. Navy who supervised the construction of a squadron of warships in Erie during the War of 1812. In 1996, to commemorate Erie's 200th anniversary, the Bicentennial Tower was erected on Dobbins Landing. Standing 187 feet tall, this tower offers panoramic views of Erie's bayfront.
Oh, they got a pretzel place up here? Oh, that's cool.
How'd they get up here?
So I was asked yesterday what this smokestack here is for, and that is from the old power plant that used to be there. It was a coal-fired power plant. That's the smokestack. The library is where the dynamos were. That's been converted now into the library.
Today, Dobbins Landing is a vibrant destination, featuring restaurants, museums, and various waterfront activities.
Hey everybody, We're down at 100 State Street. We're going to take a look at one of the oldest roads in Erie. This is Dobbins Lane. Just wanted to start out and show everybody what the bayfront construction looks like so far.
Yep. Is this for like the roundabout, whatever they're doing?
Yeah, that big project. Okay, so we're going to go over here and check out this road over here. This is one of the oldest roads in the city of Erie. It's still around.
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
This
is it. Yep. This.
Oh, this is cool.
This is one of the oldest roads in the city. And it goes down here. We'll walk down. Check it out here.
Yeah, sure. Oh, I love it. This looks like rocks from Kelso.
Yeah. And you know, it's amazing is it's still
Still here.
It's still in good shape.
For
It's,
sure.
you know, I mean, for the length of how long it's been here, it's in better shape than most of the roads in the city. I'm sure everybody will agree with that one.
I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, this is cool.
yeah, it's very cool. So we'll just stop right over here and we'll just like take a look at it. It is very cool. And the wind is ripping, yeah.
So it looks like they're building the extension project roundabout, whatever it is, like real close.
Yeah, right next to it. But thankfully they are not interrupting it, so that's kind of cool.
Yep.
But it's gonna come. You'll see, it'll come awfully close.
It's nice that they're making an effort to preserve this, I hope.
Yeah, at least they're acknowledging that it's here and they're not messing with it, you know.
Just keep adding
Gravel pack or
Gravel?
something. Yeah, looks
Zen
like.
garden.
Yeah. We'll just walk up here to the end. And right up here in the end, here was this was where the old Bethel Sunday School was. And of course, the extension canal locks would have been right there,
Right there. Yep.
and that would have went right down and out over there. So yeah, this is Dobbins Lane. This is one of the oldest roads. It's and you can still drive down this. And it is cold. The wind is whipping. Here.
You must know
The
you're filming.
bay is frozen. Well, there you go. We just wanted to stop and show you that real quick. Hope you like that one. Bye-bye. This area was actually home to 3 lighthouses over the years, so it might be important to start at the beginning. In 1818, after Congress authorized construction of a 20-foot wooden tower, a lighthouse here began to glow. It would become the very first lighthouse to shine on the Great Lakes. It was built roughly 200 feet to the west of the current lighthouse and kept by the first keeper, John Bone, from 1818 through 1833. By 1858, the lighthouse was in bad shape, and the ground underneath had started to deteriorate.
so a new lighthouse made of brick was constructed. But its foundation also failed after only 8 years. Recognizing the instability of the original site, engineers relocated the lighthouse approximately 200 feet east of its initial position. They excavated a 200-foot foundation, laying 8 courses of 12 by 12-inch oak timbers, each 20 feet long. Above this timber base, they poured a 6 feet of Portland cement mixed with crushed limestone. The lighthouse was constructed using Berea sandstone, known for its durability and aesthetic appeal. The conical tower stands 48 feet tall, with a diameter tapering from 19 feet at the base to 14 feet at the top. Inside, a cast iron spiral staircase with 69 steps leads to the lantern room. The attached one-story building on the tower's southeastern side measures 8 feet wide by 16 feet long and 16 feet tall. Constructed from the same sandstone and separated from the tower by a 7-foot steel door. Upon its completion, the lighthouse was equipped with a third-order Fresnel lens, imported from Paris at a cost of $7,000. This lens, fueled by mineral oil, emitted a fixed white light visible up to 17 nautical miles, significantly enhancing the navigation safety for vessels approaching Presque Isle Bay. In 1880, the lighthouse was decommissioned and sold for $1,800. In 1885, after public demand, the lighthouse was repurchased for $3,600 and reactivated. In 1899, the lighthouse was permanently decommissioned on December 26th. In 1902, the lantern room and Fresnel lens were removed. It's believed the lens was sent to Marblehead Lighthouse in Ohio, but nobody knows for sure. In 1934, ownership of the lighthouse was transferred to the city of Erie. In 1978, the Erie Land Lighthouse was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1990, a wooden replica of the lantern room was installed atop the tower. In 2003, the wooden replica of the lantern room was destroyed during a windstorm on May 5th. In 2004, restoration efforts included installing a 6,300-pound copper replica of the original lantern room, replacing interior stairs, and repairing over 200 bricks. As the first commissioned lighthouse on the Great Lakes, the Erie Land Lighthouse holds a special place in maritime history. Its preservation and public accessibility allow residents and visitors to connect with Erie's past, serving as a tangible link to our history and a symbol of local pride.
We're down at the cemetery at the Soldiers and Sailors Home.
Yeah. See if we can gain access here.
Yeah, they might have it closed off, but we'll check it out. It's really well kept, though. I will say that.
You can see all the flags still for.
Yeah, let me flip the camera around so people can see it.
This almost looks like Arlington, Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the stones are all
Arranged and stuff,
and
yeah.
certain orientation.
Yeah, this was originally how you got in, was right here.
Okay.
As you came in, there was a road that crossed right here, and you came down across here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
looks like we can go in. So it's open till the end of this month.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's open dawn to dusk. Okay.
Here we go.
In 1896, the Pennsylvania Soldiers and Sailors Home opened in Erie, which included a 4-acre cemetery that served as the final resting place for more than 1,300 veterans who served our nation dating all the way back to the Civil War era. It's the only state-owned veteran cemetery in Pennsylvania, maintained by the Pennsylvania Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. Join us as we explore this historic site. We were walking along when we noticed a grave marker that seemed suspiciously out of place, so we went to go investigate. What we found, tucked up here in the corner, was the grave of a Civil War soldier who died in 1937 at the age of 93 years old. We have no idea why it was so far removed from everyone else.
Served in Vietnam.
And if you're looking for more history, the Pennsylvania Soldiers and Sailors Home is also home to the Wayne Blockhouse. There's also a Civil War cannon on site. On the morning of July 5th, 1820, George Nicholson was helping raise a barn for one of the members of the McCreary family in Fairview. George's daughter Mary was at their home using the loom, while her mother, Sister Jane, and Aunt Isabella walked through the orchard as they would often do. But today will be different. In the next few minutes, one of these women is about to lose their life. Suddenly, a storm blew in over the lake. Mary motions to Jane from the window for the women to hurry up as the rain begins to worsen. With the weather becoming increasingly worse, the women decide to make a run for it. Just as they reached the house, a loud clap of thunder was heard. Mary had been struck by lightning. Her brother Alexander reportedly ran 3 miles in the downpour, crossing through Walnut Creek on his way to McCreary's to get help from his father George. But it was too late. Mary Nicholson is buried in the Erie Cemetery. She was just 15 years old.